Out there, everybody on Facebook and the broader internet. Brian Wallace here, coming at you live from Now Sourcing Cincinnati headquarters with another wonderful segment of our South by Southwest live series. This is number 6 already. Can't believe it. Beautiful Friday afternoon. Hard to believe it's February with this crazy weather. It's like 70 degrees here. And today we have the one and only Wesley Faulkner, social media manager at Namecheap.com. Thanks so much for joining us today, man. How's everything?
It's a pleasure.
For sure. And for those of you who don't know Namecheap, I don't know, like you must live under a rock or something. We'll talk about Namecheap. But as you know, this is a show very much about strategies at South by Southwest. And I was so psyched when Wesley said yes to this interview because, I mean, he is just the shining example of how to do it right. So many companies come and spend tons and tons of money, and this dude like shows up in a Where's Waldo uniform and it goes massively viral all over the internet. It is just ridiculous. So yeah, we've got a little comment from the audience. 2 great people. Thank you, Paul. We appreciate that. So yeah, Wesley, tell us a little bit about yourself, about Namecheap, how this idea came to be, and just how successful it was. It was just insane, what I remember.
Well, actually, I was relatively new to Namecheap. I started the previous November, so it was
Okay.
And you have to plan South by way in advance. Even though it seemed simple, there was a lot of moving parts. I had PJ Christie, who's our PPC guy, and he made sure that we were ready with ads, both targeted and geo-targeted. Had a great manager, Michelle Greer. It was her brainchild, but I was one of the people who said, yeah, that sounds great. And I'll be willing to do it. So it's something we came up together, but I would say that she was probably the genesis of that idea. We had great graphic arts people who helped, let's see if you can see this, come up with these coupons that we handed out. And so we had to get those in the press. And then, of course, there's the outfit. I'm going to pull it out. So here's the Where's Waldo outfit. And don't know if you can see. Oh, it's backwards. Here we go.
There we go.
Got the embroidered logo on it.
There it is. That's how the magic happens.
Same with the beanie.
Great.
So that took a bit of time to get ordered and to get customized.
Right.
And then we did some great graphics. So we were all prepped to launch, but we had no idea how successful it would be. Also, for fans who actually knew what was going on, we had like these stickers made up too. The light's a little overexposing it, but you can see that on a lot of the images from South by.
And we can put some pictures later in the thread too, for like show notes. Right. Yeah. What is that? Sorry?
King Kong.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Man, so how successful was it?
So we clocked over 4 million impressions for that time.
Insane.
And the idea was to turn it on the whole yelling in a crowd on its head. Most people try to scream the loudest to get the most amplification of their voice. What we did was we took one of the world's most endearing characters and made it approachable. So people came to us instead of us having to accost them and pull them in, which was great. And we got several different reactions to people who are like, Namecheap, I love you guys, or Waldo, why are you dressed like Waldo? And they would come and ask and then tell them and give them a coupon for a free domain, and they'd be super ecstatic. And also people would yell and say, hey, Wally, which was interesting because over the pond and overseas, it's Wally, it's not Waldo, which was a learning experience.
Yeah, England does weird things. You ever hear the thing that they did with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? You know what they call them over there?
What do they call them?
The Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Apparently, like, is ninja like a safety problem? Like ninjas run around Big Ben or something? I really don't understand that one. I never will. Obviously, I'm not British. Whatever works. What was like the weirdest thing anybody said to you aside from "Hey Wally"?
Uh,
that you can say on camera?
well, one of it was like, "Hey, is being, a Black Waldo a novelty?"
Right? I knew you would get that kind of question. Like, how do you even answer that? It's
Well,
like,
I was just like, "Well, it's an idea." Didn't actually think about the whole race aspect, but yeah, now that you bring it up,
yeah,
it's
it's
just
like,
an part.
yeah, I mean, like Waldo itself is like a novel idea. I don't know like why people like necessarily gravitate to that, but whatever. I mean, maybe that had in part of the success and it was like, a little more novel and a little more different. But yeah, I remember seeing you and like you were just like inundated with people. I think we were both hanging out in the Comcast lounge for a minute and I
Yep.
was like, wow, that's really cool. And like everybody was just like swarming you. I didn't get a chance to like sit down. So I'm glad that we're finally doing this. So man, like how in the world do you even top that? Because like you can't just do the same thing again, right? I guess you could. And can you tell us
Well,
like a little more on what you're thinking?
so we were thinking like doing the same thing again, possibly because I still have the
Yeah,
the outfit and stuff. But then
right.
it was a realization that if I did that, there might be like 20 other Waldos that are just copycats, which wouldn't work.
Hmm.
We
Right.
we we thought about doing this outfit that was covered in like LEDs and with a hashtag on the shirt, and that every time someone tweeted with that hashtag, it would light up. And so
That's
we have
interesting.
this like attachment saying like, wait a second, so why is he lighting up? And then someone else would have to explain what was going on, or I would explain it, or the word would just go more
Hmm.
organic that way of understanding why I'm dressed like that. Why am I blinking what seems to be randomly? And also a visual cue.
Yeah,
That's of our
that's
campaign.
smart.
And so I would guess I would like beginning I would blink once every 2 hours, and then towards the end I would probably be like a Christmas tree.
You know what's weird, man? I know a guy who has a company that does like that custom LED stuff. I can tag him in this and maybe that can work out for you. That would be neat.
Well, yeah, that's one of the ideas we're floating by, but ultimately, I think we're gonna see about bringing in more partners and doing something larger, um, and maybe even have a crew with me to be able to film it. And so I think this year I'm just laying low. I'm just gonna be there and
Mhm.
just enjoying myself like I do every year. I think we talked about this is gonna be my 10th South by.
Yeah, that's
Um,
impressive.
and
And you're still coming. You're not just like one of those guys where you're like the cool kid and it's like, oh no, it's not cool enough in secret anymore, so I can't go. You know what it's about, and you know that you can get more success and impressions than a lot of other campaigns that you do, right? I mean, it's amazing to me the people who kind of dismiss the event. It's so powerful, right?
it's also still a giant learning experience.
Yes, very
Even
much so.
though, I mean, it's more than just a marketing opportunity for me. That's why I keep going. It's also a huge. It's like going to like church on Sunday. You just get reminded of why you're doing the thing you're doing. Kind of like that.
Right.
Uh,
So
yeah.
true. Very
Or
inspirational.
synagogue on Saturday. Don't want to leave anyone
Whatever
out.
works. Yeah,
Whatever
yeah,
works.
yeah.
Uh,
Different strokes for different folks. I see Paul here has a question too. Let's bring that up on screen. Paul asks, what was your financing like, the initial funding to pull this together? Whatever you feel comfortable in saying or not.
I have a whole blog post that
Oh, okay,
details.
great.
So I'll break it down.
Okay, great.
That the outfit itself was like $40 off Amazon. The embroidering was about $80. Um, the printing of the coupons, we had 2,000 made. That was about $500 because we got some really high class glossy and multiple colors and stuff like that. The art we did in house, the PR we did in house, so I can't put a price tag to that. My badge was free because I'm on the advisory board for South by, so another reason why I go every year. And with ads, I think we spent about $1,200 on the targeted ad because it was so hyper focused. So all in all in, it was under $2,500. Oh, did I lose you? Uh-oh. I have some Wi-Fi problems here. I'm not sure if I'm still broadcasting on my end. More questions? Maybe they'll come through. Yeah. What are the next steps? So the next steps is to, well, it's always experimenting, figuring out what can be done to top the next thing. We've had a leadership change at Namecheap, and so we're reorganizing, especially in the wake of the climate of the internet, the state of the internet. We're trying to do something that's more sensitive to the current environment. Figuring out what our goals are. It was immensely successful, and there was a lot of pressure to do something to top that. This year, we're taking a pause to make sure that we take everything into account and do something really big next year. So right now, the devouring of the data that we got was amazing, and the feedback that we got from the people who are Namecheap customers was amazing too, and we were able to roll that feedback in. What we want to do is add more of that element. There was a lot of people that knew who we were and knew our services, and we want to bring more of those people in, bring more of our customers in. So it was great getting more exposure for people who didn't know Namecheap, but we also want to make sure that people who are our loyal customers get rewarded, and make sure that we show our appreciation for them. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for the questions. It's hard to vamp on my own. I'm not a good singer, not a good dancer, so I'll just wait for Brian to join. Thanks for watching, Paul. It's good. Are you gonna be going to South by this year? No, why not? Too expensive. Other plans. Washing your hair. Yeah. They still have planes that go from DC to Austin, right?
There we go. We're back. Sorry about that. The internet decided to crap out on us there. Thank you for continuing that line of thought. You and Paul have saved the show.
I try.
Awesome. Yeah, Paul's a great guy and was very psyched that you were going to be on this as well. What else did I want to say? So yeah, man, 10 years. So forgetting about like, the whole Waldo thing and all of that, I think that people who have been going for 10 years have a lot more to say than like drink lots of water and wear sneakers and stuff like everybody knows that already. Like, what would you tell people beyond that and beyond wearing a Waldo uniform and all that kind of stuff? What kinds of things have you kind of learned from the trenches over the last decade that you really think stand out from just any old advice?
So I've gotten this question a lot. I've done a lot of talks about going to South by. So stop me if you've heard these before, and I'll just move on to the next.
You're good. You're good. Yep.
One thing is, don't overplan and don't underplan, and don't worry about sticking to a plan. So a lot of people go through the first timer saying, okay, I want to go to this session and this session and this session and this session and this session. Make sure you plan to have a break and to relax. And if you don't get in that session, it's fine to have a backup plan, but it's also fine not to. There are so many great people that are just roaming around the halls. The Blogger Lounge, the Tech Set Lounge is one of the best. If you don't know Tech Set or the Comcast Lounge, look that up. Make sure you RSVP and go there. You will not waste your time just sitting in the lounge and relaxing. There's so many people to talk to that are just amazing and great.
Can I pick on that point for 1 second? Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think we've talked about this in some of the other shows, but seriously, guys, the currency at South by is focus, right? Everybody's distracted. Everybody's running around like an idiot, and their brain is melting out, and they're going out all night. The thing that's so special about the Comcast Lounge, which, by the way, is also celebrating its 10th year, congratulations to Stephanie and Brian, amazing. They've been doing it for a decade. It's one of the only places that you can like eat food, have coffee. There's always a stage with somebody cool speaking. There's actual places to sit, so you're not like sitting around on the floor like you have nowhere to go. There's places to plug in your laptop, wired internet, like all of these things at one place where you can actually get a breath from all that noise. It's such a great place, which is where we saw each other too. So for sure.
Yeah. And you will make lifelong friendships just in that small area of space.
So true.
I say small, that's relative to the convention center, but it's large in terms of like being able to stretch out and relax. I don't think I've ever gone there and not had a place to sit. They have couches, they have chairs,
yep.
barstools. It's an amazing place. I'm surprised it is not wall to wall every year. It's one of the open secrets of South by that I'm just glad that exists.
Yeah, and people just don't know where it is. So I feel like it's because people don't always know where it is. It's always like on another floor than like the main event. So, and that's fine, right? Like I don't want to wait in line for 20 minutes to sit on a chair. So maybe we shouldn't be talking about this too much, but it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I shouldn't say it's 19A and B is the room number. Where you find it.
Now you've blown it. No, it's always in the same place. So yeah, it's all good.
And another thing is crazy happens after midnight. So a lot of people are like, oh, it's a long day. I'm exhausted. And they stop. Or like they see people going home or to their hotel room and retiring. Crazy happens after midnight. Bonds are made in the crazy. So I've done some really crazy things. I've seen some crazy things that I will not call out. But lifelong bonds and experiences, and that's how you make fast friends at South by. Just
absolutely
stay out as long as you can.
And just be responsible. Don't be that guy like getting arrested. I mean, there's always like somebody doing that like every year without fail. But whatever, right. You know, be responsible. Know what you're supposed to be. Yeah, but like, you know, spare him and don't like video it because come on. I'm not going to say we've all been there, but like give the guy a break. He's had a rough night.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
but
cool, man.
There's like things you see like I remember hanging out outside of a cafe. It was Jeffrey Powers. It was Scott from Scott Eves. It was Scott Jordan. It was two people I haven't met before, but one was a rabbi. One was an entrepreneur who was on her fifth startup. And the founder of Go Games, who's also doing karaoke rickshaw. And there's this giant sphere made out of like old AOL CDs with a boombox and a giant flat screen and just rolling around and just doing random karaoke with people. And it was just, you know, the best time ever. I met and with him was a librarian who was designing a new space, and designing a new space in Brooklyn that's going to be all experiential. And it's just like these deep conversations, these great experiences, some bad singing, and it was just like that wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't happen if I didn't hang out with friends. I remember Robert Scoble was there, and he darted across to this other venue, and then brought back this person who's had this new startup, this new gadget that it's now out yet, so I'm not going to talk about it. But it's like no one but the people at the table has ever seen it before, and this is just like that's what happens. You just it's the uncommon becomes common. So go ahead and just push yourself at least one night. I would say 2 nights, 3 nights to be there. And this year is probably going to be the craziest South by ever because the music, the film, and interactive are all going to be overlapping towards the end. Usually there's like a day or two between the interactive and with music, but with them combining, it's going to be a really great year.
It's going to be great and madness at the same time. I mean,
which is more opportunity.
Oh, totally. But
yeah.
I mean, it's like, and it's totally different crowds too. You know what I mean? Like so many of the music people are just in their own world, and film always goes parallel track. I'm hearing a bit of an echo. Let me see what I can do to fix that. Hopefully that fixed it. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I think it was just some feedback from my phone. So yeah, I mean, you're so right. I mean, it's just, you could fly to like 30 different cities and do different little events, and you could just roll up to this one thing. And there's so much more that goes on beyond our little Snapchats and live streams and stuff like that. And everybody puts the cameras away and just has a great time. And there's plenty of my friends that, I feel like this is the only time we get a chance to get together too. And yeah, you mentioned like Scott Jordan. I don't know if you saw what he did last year. Remember his whole Shark Tank thing? How he had that whole thing with Mark Cuban? They got together last year and they had a picture of them like just smiling. That was cool. And Scobles was there.
I haven't met Mark.
A great time.
But Scott is an amazing guy. And last year was his first South by.
Sure was.
This year. Yeah.
We interviewed him for this program last year, and we had a lot of a talk about it. I know he had a good time, so it'll be great to see him again. Great to see Scoble, and it's going to be awesome. I'm so psyched. You heard about all the rideshare stuff, right? Go ahead.
One thing one more tip: don't be that guy or that person that forces your business card without someone asking for it. I've been in a lot of rooms where someone would say, "Hey, how's it going?" and start handing them out like playing cards to everyone at the table who have no idea or context of why they would need them. Don't do that. If you're going to give out a business card, have the other person ask for it. Don't force it on someone. That's just
it's very true.
For desperation.
Yeah, and people see it, and it's like they're in the middle of like trying to have a conversation with people they've known for a decade or something, and you're just gonna like come in and drop. I mean, I love it when the guys like they don't even hand you a card; they just drop like 10 pamphlets on the table, and then you have the South by volunteer that like throws it all in the garbage like 30 seconds later. Oh man, I mean, come on, you've got such an incredible shot to influence and position your company if you just think about it. I mean, one of the things we do is get a trade show booth where, that's more of a sensible way to give out business cards without being annoying, but they're coming to you. And you're so right. Like you can't push. And this is general life advice, right, guys? Like just never do that ever. Like just don't be, Wesley could just like have half that sentence. It's like, just don't be that guy. Not South by, just forever.
Yeah, if you want
advice,
if you want network text, don't give your card to someone who doesn't ask for it. Try to stay in a conversation as long as possible without asking what the other person does. Try to link up on things that are common, like what brings you to the South by, or like what is the coolest thing you've seen. Don't say what you do either, unless you have to, or it's extremely relevant to what you're talking about. Try to connect on a personal level without trying to connect on a business. Before you connect on a business level, because the people who are going and know this role are some of the greatest people you'll ever meet. And it doesn't matter what you do or what you will do, but if you can make a friend for life, that's more valuable than any business content.
Absolutely. I mean, you can have your elevator pitches and all that once somebody asks what you do, but please, I mean, there's just no reason to be desperate here. You're going to meet lots and lots of people, and if you spend your time wisely, you will meet even more people than you would think is possible to meet in a day. So I think it works very well. Well, awesome, man. I think we've been going here, and I want to make sure we're ending it off without the internet kind of crapping out on us again. Any parting thoughts? Do you want to say anything more, since we're not since you're not forcing the business card? Anything that you want to say just on the Namecheap side? Anything we should all know about?
Nope, nothing on the Namecheap side. But personal side, if you see me stop by, come up to me and say hi. I would love to chat and talk with you. I love meeting new people. On the business side, if you want a free domain, just let me know. I can hook you up.
May take you up on that. I'm with the GoDaddy overlords right now, and a lot of that, and I think a lot of people who have a bunch of domains, they just don't necessarily want to like switch it if it's kind of working and it's okay. I'm not throwing shade on either company, but it's just sometimes it's tough, and it's like, yeah, I'd like to, but you know, I've had my eye on you guys, and I think it's great. I think you guys are very good at figuring out opportunities. So like if, let's say, a place is getting like DDoSed or something, I immediately see like Namecheap on the scene, and you're just, I feel like you guys are very quick and agile and good at that messaging. So respect.
Yeah. Well, it's like calling and canceling your cable internet and then changing your domain. They're like, those are like, they're close to each other, but towards the top of one of the things where like it's working, so I'm not going to worry about it. I have other things to worry about. So like, I get it. And you're not alone. So it's a hard thing to do, but once you do it, oh my God, it's like butter. It's great.
Outstanding, man. Well, listen, it's been wonderful chatting with you today. Thank you all so much for bearing with us through the technical difficulties. And Wesley, you know, again, wonderful job out there, and looking forward to hanging out some more. Hopefully we can catch up over some good times out there.
All right. Good to see you, Brian, and I promise my camera will be off when I see you.
Sounds good. All right, man. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for tuning in, everybody. See you guys.
See ya. Bye, Paul.